exposures.
Spin the pronoun wheel. It's time for Dying of Exposure presents Dying of Exsanguination, the Curse of Strahd campaign. We are back here in the world of Barovia, and I am joined, as always, by my delightful Strahd Quad. Say hello, delightful Strahd Quad.
Hello, delightful Strahd. This is impossible.
It's a Strahd Quad.
One of these days we'll all get it.
This is why you don't do music over Discord.
This is why you don't do music over Discord.
But hard to nail if we're all in a room together. We've got latency. And...
Yeah, right. But that's what makes it great.
I like setting the tone of how unrehearsed and technically impossible this is to even pretend at professionalism. But speaking of professionalism, last session you all watched Rictavio be a professional puppeteer to a group of children, putting on a professional level of magic to distract adults but keep children focused, some of which you all caught a real mockery of the Devil Strahd that he playfully shared with the kids, and now, you know, as some of you, unbeknownst to him exactly, you previously to that ran into some incarcerated people in the stocks at Town Square and got a bit of a judgment over some of the information related to some of the upcoming events. You've also found out through town rumors that the occasional person is disappearing up toward the lake, just above Vallaki, out of the north entrance or the lake entrance. Lake Vallaki is the largest lake in Barovia, and it seems that people have been sighted going there and not returning. You found that Rictavio also had a fun animal friend who has their own new animal friend in the form of Belladonna, a beast speaker, as they call as the giant saber-toothy tiger blood seeker, aka Snowball, aka Snowball. Discussed what their purpose, as far as they knew, was here in Barovia. But Mwezi-Mwezi, who was focused on trying to make their meeting in the evening, found himself drawn to an altercation down in the main hall of the Blue Water Inn, and that is where we left off, with Mwezi-Mwezi trying to break up a fight unsuccessfully. And I'm going to need you, Mwezi-Mwezi, to please roll me initiative.
All right, let's go pink. Initiative plus 2. 13?
All right, let me do a quick roll here. Nope, that one. It's not gonna be first. Mwezi-Mwezi, you are in humanoid form, correct? You've been rocking it quite a bit because of concern for concerning the populace. The ultimate code switch, the whole body code switch. Let me get to the NPCs. To reset the scene, you're in the general section, like the main hall of the Blue Water Inn. Bar off to the side, handful of circular tables. Couldn't be a more classic brew hall. There are other people this afternoon in the Blue Water Inn's tavern, but all of them are standing back and keeping a fray. And as mentioned previously, rather than Erwin Mardikov, who's mostly been the person you've interacted with, a younger man who looks like a younger version or a relative of some kind of Erwin is there, a much wispier, much less imposing fellow. kind of trying to keep themselves in play. You or keep themselves and their like products out of harm. You had heard these two gentlemen yelling at each other and heard the name Nikolai and the names Carl. It is Nikolai that goes first, swinging in your direction because you interrupted his brother hitting him. And they are going to attack you.
Watch him hit me this time.
Fine. I'll use a dice roll. Jeez. Does a 21 hit you, Mwezi-Mwezi?
I was hoping to say no, but it most certainly does.
Mwezi-Mwezi, you get socked on in the face. Now, it's not too hard. So it only does 3 points of damage. But they duck and swing at you again now that they've woken you up. That's a nat 1. They think that you're going to be more thrown by their attack and just punch into a space that you were not occupying, assuming they would your body would be knocked in that direction. But you took the hit like a champ. The other brother who turns immediately joining his brother and trying to attack you is going to try and wrap you up. I need you to roll me an athletics check, please. We're going to do a contested athletics check.
$25.
You absolutely do not. You recognize that these are not significantly weak men, but they are not fighters. And these are not. These are average guys yelling at each other, average bar situation, and you easily brush them off both times as they use both their attack actions to try and grapple you. They are quick, but they are not particularly strong or imposing by comparison to a person of your stature. It is now your go, Mwezi-Mwezi, as the other patrons bystandered their way back further from the altercation while the barkeep shouts like take it outside, take it outside, without a lot of oomph behind the command.
So what I want to do essentially is grab both of them like they were children and try to drag them outside at least.
Okay. This will be.
You should listen to the man as he says, "Let's go outside. We can have fun then."
Give me a. I'm barely gonna. Okay. Roll me an athletics check. You can roll it flat, and this will count for your attack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Since you're grabbing 2 of them.
22.
You easily, I could add the 2 dice I rolled and add both of their bonuses, and it would still not beat a 22. That's not what I was planning to do, but that's how bad I rolled. Describe you dragging them out, because they are currently grappled by you.
So Mwezi picks them up like this, and their feet hanging off the ground, trying to hold them just far enough that they can't get reach, and then just begins walking to the door and out into the street. Come along, friends. Come along. Let us play outside. I believe I will win, but you could surprise me.
On their turn in initiative, as they yell at you, Nikolai especially is like, I don't know you, stranger, but I'm going to put the hurt on you, and grabs and strikes at your arms. I need you to, what is Mwezi-Mwezi's AC?
13.
Only one of these strikes actually hits you for 2 damage, and none of them are effective at breaking a grapple because it just meet you, and I'm just going to rule it that they do that. And give me now an intimidation check with advantage or persuasion, your choice, but I feel like whatever is
You're
higher.
equal.
Yeah, with advantage.
Oh, advantage. Thank God that was a raw too.
Because they so aggressively failed that.
21.
As you clearly show that even though you've taken a little bit of pain, that it's not really phasing you, and you can easily handle both of these men. Carl, the other, is like, bruh, let's just leave. We'll come back later for this guy. And Nikolai is like, you don't know who you messed with. You don't know who you're screwing with. And
No, I do not. Who are you? Who are you? Introduce yourself.
Nikolai starts responding, and Carl's like, you don't need to know who you are or who we are. You're going to learn who we are soon enough. Still hanging. Hasn't managed to break.
Then I leave it up to you to figure out who I am. And then that's when I want to dump them outside and head back in.
All right. Dump them outside and head back in. And give me a perception check, please, as they stand up, dust themselves off. Nikolai makes a play at pretending like he's going to go for you, and Carl just kind of pulls him away.
That's in that one.
And they head out embarrassed back into the city. As you walk back in, already the bartender is righting a couple of the tables and chairs, and looks over at you, Mwezi-Mwezi, and it's like, awful kind of you to break that up. Thank you so much. Like, they would have damaged a lot more. Those guys get into it every time they're in the bar.
You know who they are?
Yeah.
If someone's going to threaten me, I probably should know.
Yeah, those are the Wachter boys, Nikolai and Carl. They're Fiona's kids.
We are already enemies. That is wonderful.
Your enemies?
Do you need anything else from me?
No, I don't. But I don't recommend being enemies with the Wachters. I mean,
I didn't have a choice.
Well, you want some food on the house for a little bit more food or something to drink, since you saved me a bit of coin.
I will just give you some advice. You got to get your strength in, because I know you can do it, because your father can do it. Good luck, child.
Give me an insight check when you give that advice, Mwezi-Mwezi.
20.
A 20?
Dirty.
Dirty 20? That's more than fine. Dirty 20. You look at this young man who you've told, I know you can do it because your father can do it. And you realize that might not have been the kindest thing to say to this young man, as he just sort of hides a little bit of, like, with the dirty 20, he hides something akin to disappointment. But he quickly washes it away in what would normally be quite practiced behavior, just a little rattled from that, and goes back to doing what all bartenders do when I'm not puppeting them, which is standing behind the bar with a rag, cleaning a glass in a little circle thing, because that's they have 3 animations, and that's all barkeeps in all fantasy worlds across all universes. Where do you go, Mwezi-Mwezi, after this bit of
If
conflict?
I am still waiting for the moment to have the meeting.
So do you head back up to your
This-
room?
Yep, this was a distraction, but one I'm glad I dealt with.
Okay, well then let us cut back to the stockyard. Currently, Esther and Scratch are in conversation with the performer Rictavio, lanky, older, kind of raw-boned gentleman with gray mutton chops, a receded hairline, a sharper nose, and a face that would betray a severer look if he weren't usually smirking or smiling, as he, for lack of a better term, or and not to ignore an extremely accurate term, and Scratch, you're definitely picking this up, moons over Esther. Scratch and Scratch and as the Rictavio just kind of smiles and looks at the both of you and is like, well, I appreciate that you've enjoyed my performance, and I'm always happy to make the company of such fine young women. What? I don't believe that I've properly introduced myself. I think you all walked in a little late on the show. Rictavio of Rictavio's Carnival of Wonders, a one-man wonder, if you will. Happy to be here in Vallaki and happy to have you both in my proximity. How can I make your days more delightful, young ladies?
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, Rictavio of I've already forgotten his title. I am Iron Scratch David of the Twisting Peak. No, I'm Iron Scratch of the Twisting Peaks.
You're not
The
a
Scratch
David
does
yet.
not have the nope. It's a pleasure to meet you. This is my companion. I believe you've made acquaintances already.
Yes, more than already. I think I've made acquaintances of your companion, Miss Esther, in my dreams ever since I was a young man trying to sow my wild oats, and it took these many decades for me to find her in reality.
Scratch is straight up making a face like this.
Wooning.
Yeah. Scratch is just looking back and forth between the two of them like, cool. In the back of her head, is this what I look like? But
Yeah, this is you going to say, Steve Buscemi.
So Scratch is like, well, yeah, I'm glad to see that we're all getting along. You had mentioned you knew something about this clockwork automaton.
Ah, yes, the clockwork automaton. Of course, beautiful piece of craftsmanship. But as we discussed, it is in an unfortunate location, off in that direction, generally gesturing toward the east, southeast, and Castle Ravenloft. So a hard thing to find if you're going to be looking for it, but if one could acquire it, one could do pretty impressive things with that little bit of tools. So sad that the creator, the genius mind behind it, Van Werg, is no longer with us. A truly brilliant man, but not even brilliance can stem immortality. Can stem mortality. Only godhood and curses, apparently.
Can I
Yeah.
get insight on if he's immortal with a curse?
Yeah, you can do an insight on that statement.
Yeah, right. What an oddly specific thing to say.
21.
21. You get the insight when he glanced around and kind of gestured that he was gesturing to all Barovia, which means that he is referring to Strahd, who is,
Ah.
for all intents and purposes, immortal in this land. And so...
Immortality. Who wants it?
But yes, Fritz and I had the occasional drink and story and shared table or doubled up room at an inn here and there back when he was never a man for money, more a man of craft, which means that he was always happy to share a bill or have someone else pay for him. And he did do, though none of them are with me now, some of the puppets in other previous puppet shows. Have you been to Blinksies then? That's where some of his dolls, I believe, can be still found. Odd guy Blinksy, but perfectly nice.
Yes, we stopped by there, and I picked up one of his fantastic mechanisms. Yeah, and that was where he told me about a little bit about the lost artifact.
Yes.
What can you tell us? Is there anything specific you could tell us about the artifact? Perhaps it itself, what it can do, where we could find it?
He looks around, like, surreptitiously. Well, you could be found. Word is, I don't know this myself. I'd be no fool to go visually verify it, but unfortunately, it seems that the ultimate collector here in Barovia has it in his possession, in the castle. Now, I know not where, but probably tossed aside in some room. It says that he was offended by its very existence, though the reasons that he was offended by it are often rumored in various degrees. Perhaps a man that inventive could figure out a way out of Barovia. Perhaps a man that inventive could befuddle Strahd by making something more beautiful that his eyes could not imagine, because the joy is no longer reachable in his dead heart. Or, honestly, he might have just taken it because Fritz might have accidentally popped off at Strahd directly because he wasn't very good at taking care of himself or protecting his life. But however it came there, I am relatively confident at this point that that is where it lives. Why it rests there. I mean, he could have been looking for Fritz's magic, but I don't imagine he'd be able to figure that out.
Do you know where in Strahd's castle or what it looks like?
Strahd's...
Like, would I know it if I saw it?
I could sketch it out for you if you provided me a table surface and perhaps a beverage and meal to go with it, and a pencil and paper.
I have calligrapher's supplies on me, so here you go.
You know what's crazy is that it gets sold in like a little package called calligrapher's supplies in so many different general stores, and I got to think to myself, why does so many regular folk need full calligrapher supplies? But that's how they come.
They get them all from the same supplier.
Yeah, it's monopolies.
Just in time shipping. Yeah. The logistics in the various planes are incredible.
Yes, you'll pay for my meal, and I will, of course, pay for yours. Gesturing back to Esther.
She just stutters her way.
Rictavio holds out both of his elbows, and he's going to, if you let him, escort you away from the stockyard in this
absolutely
in this conversation to a restaurant of some sort.
Scratch looks up at the elbow. It's like, you're gonna have to come down here. She makes no effort to reach up.
Give me an insight check when you make no effort to reach up.
All right. Scratch also adds, no is also a acceptable answer. Insight. Insight. 13.
13. I think that's enough. You're already down lower than most people. Rictavio lowers down and puts himself in a position that his legs shouldn't be able to maintain, where he is basically in a squat, like walking position, one arm up, one arm a little bit up high and one elbow a little bit down low, in the in between you and Esther, and you hear his knees pop. But he seems like he's pretty confident that he can maintain said position. Scratch, when you, and the insight lets you hear his knees both pop like an older man's knees.
Yeah. All right. Scratch nods in respect and is like, all right, let's go. And so it like she's gonna like kind of keep an eye out. She's gonna she's gonna see how far he's willing to go with this, but if it seems like he's struggling, she's just gonna let go.
All right. From his wagon, Belladonna, you've been having a conversation with your new furry buddy. Belladonna, having learned of the intents of our saber-toothed white tiger and what? Bloodseeker? Bloodseeker? Is that your name, Bloodseeker?
Yeah, it was
Bloodseeker.
Bloodseeker / Snowball.
Snowball. Having learned of, yeah, Snowball I can always remember. There it is, Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker. Having learned and heard of Bloodseeker's intent and instruction as the best that they know them, that they are here to consume unnatural, undead things and two living ones who scent blood he knows, but who does not know their names or their purpose. What does Belladonna do is when you glance back, you can kind of see the scene of Rictavio beginning to squat down and escort Scratch and Esther kind of away.
I think she'll like peek over and like jump down from where she's clearly clung to the side of the wagon to peek through the little bars, like dust off her. Bloody well leaving without me. I'm gone for like 30 fucking seconds. I'd like dust off her skirts and try to cautiously follow behind, not like interrupt them, but see how far they're gonna go before they notice that they left her. Honestly, is kind of what she's thinking. Is like these chuckle fucks leaving with the mysterious wizard while I'm 20 feet away. Rude. Okay, I'm gonna see what kind of trouble they get into from a safe distance where I can intervene and or let them befall their own fates, depending on how severe the consequences will be.
Are you in this mood? Are you trying to stay out of sight, or are you just trying to stay inconspicuous?
I guess I would need to know what you mean by the difference there.
So out of sight would be like a stealth roll where essentially out of sight is that if Esther and Scratch looked around, they wouldn't be able to see you, would be your attempt. Inconspicuous means, sure, they'd be able to see you, but you're not like looking to insert yourself in the conversation. You're following from enough of a distance and everything. Because you are commenting on them leaving you behind, I was curious if Belladonna was the type to be like, no, I want them to take too long to see me, then see me. So either way,
no, I think in that case specifically, she would be remaining out of sight because she doesn't want them to see her now. She wants to see when they realize they forgot her.
Okay, I'm gonna need a stealth check.
I want you to notice me. I want you to remember me.
I'm gonna need a stealth check.
Okay, I'm gonna do bad at that, but I will for you.
Thank you.
That is a 4. She's furious. She's glaring around walls like this.
player's choice on if you spot Belladonna in this situation. Both your passives, even if I cut numbers off your passives, both of them would catch this. But player's choice on if you notice Belladonna skulking.
Esther does not even take a second to look back.
Yeah, I know. I'm mad.
Can Scratch have been aware the whole time? Like, Scratch didn't forget about Belladonna.
Yeah.
Can Scratch have been, like, sort of peripherally aware of Belladonna, like, from
With
the whole time that...
4 stealth, yeah, I think that's a low enough
With
number.
a 4, I also consent. Yeah, that's very
I think
obvious.
it'd be extremely. I think
You
you
can
would.
probably hear her screaming to herself, "They left me!"
good.
Definitely noticed.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Rictavio doesn't know me, and he knows.
All right, so I just rolled a hold on, what is my stealth? 13 stealth to just kind of like surreptitiously like take a moment where yeah, and you can decide if 14 is high enough for this. Take a moment where like Rictavio and Esther just all like goo over each other, and then like just like turn back to like look Belladonna in the eyes and flash a smile, and then turn back. And she turns around, she's like,
finally, after a
Belladonna
couple.
will run to catch up, but she's furious because she's supposed to be the guide in this town, and people keep leaving without her.
When Belladonna runs to catch up, where are your stats, my guy? Give me a moment.
I think it was like 20s across the board, something like that.
Rictavio, only in charismas.
Oh, he's got 20 charisma, huh?
No, he does. I don't know what he has. I'm looking for his damn character sheet, his stat sheet.
Well, I know he's good at skateboarding.
His acrobatics is off the chart, dude. It's crazy.
He's so good. He's good at skateboarding, rollerblading, and snowboarding. He did participate in the X Games back when they were something until they got too corporate.
The Barovian X Games.
I feel like there must be some sort of athlete charisma score where you get to use your dexterity or strength bonus as a charisma bonus instead, because otherwise devoid of personality, most of these people. But
Yeah.
I won a competition and I'm drawn. I'm not even mad about it. I'm listening. What competition? When? Tell me more about it.
So I'm not finding it immediately in the thing. There's a specific sheet and I don't have it up. Rictavio just immediately upon hearing Belladonna begin to hustle up, turns, sees Belladonna, and immediately produces, he did not have one, he unloops his arms, turns and produces produces a third arm. No, he produces a cane and draws a thin blade out of the cane and is like and just goes, "State your business, witch."
Scratch goes to push the blade down immediately.
You don't get any resistance to that.
Okay. It's like, it's our friend. It's cool.
No problem. Had to make sure you were both safe.
I disagree. I feel like that was not very cool at all. That was very rude.
From the village of Barovia.
Yes.
He sheathes his cane back
What?
and then magically makes it disappear in between his hands.
To what purpose? Or
friend of yours.
Is this...
Pleasure. My name is Rictavio of the Circus of
Actually,
Wonders.
I have a lot of questions.
What? Questions? Well,
Like,
that's what I'm here to answer.
Different questions 5 seconds ago. Now question, why draw sword at me immediately?
You were
You
rushing
did
up
not
behind
pass
us.
toward any other person who walked by quickly. This market, people are rushing by in every direction, and you called me witch? Do you have something against witches?
Generally, yes, they tend to curse people.
Well, maybe you just have bad experience with women who wield nature-based magic because you pull swords on them.
Well, one can never be too careful, but I
That is a really
apologize.
good way. It's just like stray curse, really, legitimately. Maybe be like accident even.
With
I
her.
apologize. I apologize. Sorry, it seems that my protective nature overwhelmed me. This is about to be gross as hell. He looks over at Esther, trying to impose his like, I was just trying to protect you.
Scratch catches Belladonna's eyes and just rolls her eyes.
But
Esther's falling for it.
apologies. Lady Witch.
Hey, sorry, I apologize for escalated tone. I do not take well to be threatened with sword cane.
We were admittedly not, I was
Oh,
admittedly
wow.
not knocking on your door, so that is correct. I was not respecting the cultural differences of, or the cultural normalcies of Barovia. Should have done this at your house. I apologize. Rictavio, again.
He also very peculiar for man of your specific talents to regard one of mine with such specific disdain.
How do you mean?
I came to buy compliments for your show.
Well, I appreciate it. And it's not disdain, it's,
You had a sword.
yes,
You called her a witch.
she is a witch.
Like, you foul witch. And when I was like, do you have problem with witches? You said, yes, generally.
Yes, because witches can do
Yeah,
harm to me.
It's not the fact that she is a witch. It's the way you said it.
Oh, okay.
We all heard it.
I did say it with a hard R.
There isn't even an R in that word.
That's why I used it right there. That's why I used it right there. Listen, for my own security's sake, I've had bad experiences with witches, so I am more likely to defend myself with weapons high and raised. Disdain is the wrong word. Fear is probably a more appropriate word. Antagonism.
How do you think I feel about men who whisk away my young female friends without my knowledge?
Well, I apologize for that. I promise I had no untoward intentions. He winks at Esther.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll chaperone him. He was just gonna tell us about that cool toy we heard about over at Bixby's, or yeah.
Gross man, super, kind of a little bit sexist, kind of problematic, loves to tell women about toys, super on target. Nobody's met a guy like this before. Rictavio was like, yes, I was about to regale them. And you said that you enjoyed my show. I appreciate the compliment. I did hear it. And let me buy you something at the cafe I was taking these to, if you are willing to sit and drink. If not, I'd be happy to buy you a gift card for later use.
No, I would be more than happy to, especially if you would continue to regale us with stories about your stories.
Stories
About
about...
that
mean-
is what I presume you were talking about. It is what my companions said they were going to speak to you about before we got separated.
Ah,
And it is what I came and caught up
that makes
to
sense.
join.
Mm-hmm. He goes, and Belladonna, he is going to take you all to a cafe that you know about but have never been to. And you only know about it because it's on a marking. It was on a marking on a map. On a map that that you'd seen floating about your home a couple times of Vallaki. It is down in the southern section of the town, a little west of N3 on the map. So N3, by the way, is let me go back to it. That's what I get for not opening unlimited tabs. So you know that you're in kind of roughly the neighborhood of the Burgomaster's mansion, the Baron of Vallaki's mansion, but you're a little west of it in the blurry section of the map that you all can see, or all have access to. It's in the kind of southern edge of town there, and it was probably the location that was marked by your husband and others for private conversation. And it is a little cafe with a little sign on it that says yeah, with a little sign on it. So yeah, in that little map section, in the like kind of blurriness down toward the middle center, little cafe with a little sign on it that has like a little like steamy mug. Doesn't have a name. You don't know its name. You never had to go there specifically. And it has stairs that kind of go down a few steps, but not like fully submerged, like in a half submerged kind of basement-y sort of thing, with a door. That he opens the door to usher you all into this little cafe with only a sign of symbology and nothing else. When you get into the cafe, oh, go on.
I was just gonna start filling the air. You go.
No. When you get into the cafe, you can see that you can smell tea and coffee and warm beverages. The lingering scent, it's a little bit more toward the afternoon, so it's not like freshly baked, but it was baked that morning. The lingering scent of pastries. A tall goblin, really skinny orc, unclear, around a 5 foot tall, 5.5 foot tall, somewhere in between there. Purple skinned creature with big, large bat-like ears, and like dark hair that's tied back in a braid behind them. Behind them, and like little spectacles on, currently sipping some coffee behind the counter. And Rictavio kind of gestures toward a sort of cobbled together bench and table and chairs, sort of corner seat that happens to also have real good sight lines on both the coffee maker and the door to enter into this place. It's dim down here, and a little bit warm, and a little bit kind of like smoky, but not like tobacco smoke, more like candle, kind of tallow smoke. And Rictavio pulls out pulls out both of the chairs that are at this table, and gestures to both of them, and then waits for all of the three of you to sit before he himself takes a seat at the table.
Scratch takes a seat.
Belladonna will take the booth seat, the one of the booth seats. I don't.
Yeah.
There's 2 chairs and a bench, right?
Yeah.
So, and the bench is more towards the wall, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those, like, on a table, there's a bench that's sort of like a corner, and then a chair, and then a chair and a chair kind of thing. So it's like a 4-top, but 2 of it is benched at a 90-degree angle.
Is that, I assume, like with the best view of the door and the other people?
Yeah.
Scratch will sit next to her.
Yeah, only one seat doesn't have a good view of that, and doesn't have a particular good view of that, and that is the seat to the back. And I'm just curious, does Esther sit? How does Esther sit?
Whatever the first chair that he pulls out is.
He will be the one that is to the back. So Esther's back is to everything, and his
Great.
is to the door, and
Oh.
both Scratch and Belladonna both have good sight line on the rest of this establishment. It's not big. It maybe could have a dozen people in it at most, and that would be pretty crowded. It has no particular specific art on the walls. You don't see like a menu or anything. And the cafe goblin behind the bar, the purple goblin, kind of steps up behind the counter, steps out from behind the counter, apron on, white blousey shirt, dark pants, and looks at all of you. If Belladonna, if you could have a beverage from, if you could have a beverage that is something that you've only rarely had one or two times in your life and really wish you could get more of, but it's inconvenient, it's never available, it takes too long to make, whatever reason. But a very special beverage with where it's not the memory around the beverage, but the actual like taste of the thing that you remember, what would it be? And the same question will be posed to Esther and Scratch.
Say, like a spiced buttered rum. Butter's very, very valuable, and having good butter and good spices at the same time in the city of Barovia is really hard. So buttered rum is kind of a delicacy, especially if you're a beverage person. Beverages.
Fluids.
Fluids, liquids, and vessels.
What about you, Esther? Again, it's about the
Uh,
taste of the thing more than the memory around it. So purely a flavor memory.
Probably like a very specific kind of like cappuccino, like an espresso bean that's just like super high up in some mountain range somewhere.
It's been digested
hard to
twice by two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what of Scratch?
Probably like a mulled wine. Like a mulled wine, like a good winter, just a cozy at home, like hearth style. Sorry. What? Okay.
Barista looks at the three of you and Rictavio and goes, butter, rum, looks at Esther, rarest espresso made from the rarest beans I have my ability to get my hands on, and mulled wine, looking at each of you in turn. Correct? Did I get it right? Is that the correct?
Oh, you're ready for a job at the, I don't know, whatever pub here.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have any of that, but if I did, I would serve it to you. I have burnt coffee. I have iced lattes. I don't know if you're familiar with those. They're an invention here in Villaki. Iced lattes, and I have standard cider and a wine called Franzia. That comes out of like a bag.
Sounds great. Mix that together and heat it up.
Got it. 4 for the table.
Yes.
Oh, I really just meant the last two, but let's roll with this.
No.
This is not what this cafe worker heard. So they go back to give you a graveyard of beverages to be served hot in the near future, and Rictavio's like, yeah, it's disappointing every time I come here, because they would serve me what I want, but they don't have it. But so is Barovia. Tales of my tales. I believe you were complimenting my puppet show. I presume, I suspect that you saw more than a princess and a dragon, correct?
Oh yes, and
Yeah.
it was very delightful.
I rolled a 4 on deception. So Scratch goes, yeah, uh-huh. Like clearly looking at the others and like, yeah.
I am a bit of a trickster. I've been known in my time. I think the kids need to not always be afraid of the man so goddamn much. So I give them a little something that they can speak to and have in their memory before they realize that all of the joyful memories will likely be crushed. And I do it in a way that hopefully doesn't get me in too much trouble. Impressive, though, that any of you that you all were able to see through my magical ruse.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with the whole thesis. Your whole ethos here is very noble. I think it is, in fact, a worthy goal for pursuing with many groups of people, and not just the children. I think you have a very useful ability here to send messages, to spread hope, to spread laughter.
That
Is a very, very beautiful thing you've done here for this community in this way.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, especially after I was so rude to you.
Well, it happens to be something that I believe very strongly in, which is why I wanted to speak to you.
So you're not. I can't believe I have to say this because you'd think no one would be a fan, but you're not a fan of any gestures upward again.
Well, no, not generally. And above the table here. So again, this place was marked specifically. This is I haven't been here, but when we arrived, I was peripherally aware that this was somewhere.
Yeah. This
That I knew to be safe.
you've seen on a map from JP that this is like a spot.
Okay, and like a quick a vibe check. Do I get the vibe in here that this is a place that is like a general safe house from anyone who wants to not be seen by any prying eyes, really? Just a small place people can go, generally considered to be a safe place to have a private talk because it's
Are-
small, secluded? Or do I get the sense that this is like a place more affiliated with him in a closer circle of friends, or a closer to our cause specifically than just a safe house, like our safe house?
Give me an Arcana check with advantage, or a perception check with advantage, whatever is higher for you.
That's going to be perception, and
Not
that's
even
going
a
to
high
be
DC.
a 15. And in particular, just a weird side one, as amongst the decor, although sparse and kind of homey, are there any bookshelves?
There are not any bookshelves in here, which is interesting for a cafe, because usually there's books in cafes. That's a universal truth. And you are correct in noticing that the decor is sparse. The only thing that really litters the walls are candles. Candles that don't seem to decrease after a couple of minutes. Candles that seem like they might... It's very subtle, because there's not like a coloration to it. It's almost like there's something carved into the sides of them, but you can't, like, at a glance, you don't see it because it's a very light scratch and it's wax on wax, and they're a light source, so they're distracting the eyes. Belladonna, you suspect that this place is indeed not only hidden from prying ears locally, but hidden from prying ears magically as well. You don't know quite the spell, but yes, this is very much a place. He keeps gesturing up to refer to Strahd, but you are pretty sure you could say his name and have no fear of anyone overhearing and reporting or anything like that. There's certainly security here to have conversations in private.
Okay. But I don't get a sense of it being like affiliated with any group or faction. It's just a general safe house. Kind of or just not even a safe house, a general like little secret cafe for whispering secrets.
With a 15, no, but you do assume it must be here for something, because if Rictavio knows it, and Rictavio is not from Vallaki, and he took you right to it, then someone else sets it up and maintains it that isn't him.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's
With the 15,
probably
that's
attached to
very
something.
generous for
Yeah.
15.
Yeah. So I'll say that you could logic out that it has a good chance of being related to someone that's not him, but that also would have good reason to hide it.
Well, I mean, this is
there's lots of reasons.
established. I just mean,
But
there's no like faction banners on the wall.
No.
There's no like, this is part of the anti-Strahd bananas Sunday cult. Yeah.
no such luck here.
Identifying markers. Cool.
Say the secret password. Fuck Strahd. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
then you walk in and it's just a bunch of middle
And it is
fingers.
banana Sundays.
There's banana sundays with like a middle finger fist bursting out of them and Strahd crying in the background. And that's the banner. Super sick. But yes, you're not fans, and I do try to spread hope. And joy and mirth is hard to come by in Barovia, and I figure if I'm here, I might as well do something. Better than nothing.
How long do you plan on being here?
Well, I'm stuck, so quite some time.
Okay, so wasn't quite sure. Giving you benefit of the doubt, you seemed very savvy, like you might pop in and out a little bit, but no. Okay, so you're also very stuck. Would you like to help us?
Help you
We
do
would
what?
like everybody to be unstuck generally.
Making out that explains, gesturing at Esther and Scratch. You got yourself a hold of some wandering adventurers seek to challenge the big guy, huh? Looking over at
I did
Esther.
not really get a hold of them, and they did not wander. They literally landed on my porch. It is clandestine.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't really think of myself as an adventurer, though. But yeah.
Old term from...
It is kind of a offensive catch-all term that they use to talk about anybody who
I
has
get it.
opinions outside of...
What do you consider yourself, then, if I might ask, Scratch? You seem equipped for adventure.
More of a... I don't know, depends. At heart, I like to think of myself as a crafts cat, but by trade, more of a mercenary and armorer.
Woman of many skills.
I
Fantastic.
think
Those are both very noble crafts, Scratch.
Thank you.
And forgive me if I assume too much, but Miss Esther, I assume a lady of the cloth, correct? But
Absolutely. Emphasis on lady.
Clearly. All of you get little mugs delivered to your
I can
tables.
confirm that is not true.
All of you get little mugs on your tables. Each of you, even though you all ordered the same 4 things, they'll have names written on them. One of them's named Belinda, the other one is named Ethel, the other one is named Scroach.
Scroach!
And of course, Rictavio's is just Richard. It's like, And he takes a sip of his warm piping, like burnt coffee, iced latte, mulled wine, cider thing, and it's like, interesting flavor. I've had worse. And sips it again, and it's like, so you're here to adventure to take on the Devil Strahd, and it's good. Are you in Vallaki then? Why are you in Vallaki?
You have been here how long?
Here in
It's
Vallaki or
natural.
Barovia?
Either, I suppose. Question stands either way. It is sort of natural progression of, any group of
Yes, I
go to
suppose.
take on Devil's Strahd.
I was
As we
hoping
go to
you.
Vallaki. You get your fortune read, you go to Vallaki, and that
Yeah.
is
Yeah, that is true. The Madame Ava special.
if you do not die first.
Yeah, if you don't
which-
die from the wolves or the scarecrow. Did you all run into the scarecrows on the road? Did you talk to them? You shouldn't talk to them. They're not good. They seem like
No,
they might be
luckily,
nice.
Some crows first. who
Ah,
attacked them. It was great.
yes. And I mean, crows will attack you in any land, pretty much. They're not jerks per se, but they do hold grudges, as I discovered. But yes, I was hoping you were here for the Baron.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
sure something could be done about the bear. It is a whole
Mhm.
power structure. You cannot just like sprint to Strahd's castle, jump through a window.
Nah,
Many have
yes.
tried, and they have ended up at cute bar.
Precisely.
He squints at you. There's been this. You've gone into the bar, having picked up that you were talking about adventures and then a cute bar. He looks at all three of you. Never mind. Yes, I'm here right now to upend a little bit more of a local power structure. Although I don't know if the vacuum will fill it with anything better, but can't abide the one that's here. So
Esther's gonna grab both of his hands, with both of her hands, and goes, "You simply must tell us of your plight and how we can help you."
I think we could do something mutually beneficial. We both want to disrupt this whole system. We help you disrupt this small level. Maybe you help us disseminate some information. I have the stories to tell. You wouldn't even have to write anything new. But I have a lot of stories to tell. And you could take your pick of any kinds and tell them anywhere you wanted. And I can think of a few places to start.
Octavio looks up or looks down, then he looks up again. Are you all familiar that the Festival of the Blazing Sun is happening in 2 or 3 days?
Yes, it's all we'll be talking about. Have been talking about. If anyone else is talking about, at least to us, because we won't stop talking about it, but nobody else seems to want to talk about it.
I have a special performance I plan to give at said festival. Very special for just the Baron and his wife. I guess maybe a couple of his kids. We'll see who's there, and some others that I suspect might make an appearance. And new act I'm gonna try out in town, and might be helpful to have some. Are you familiar with musical theater at all? There's a group called the Chorus that acts as background supporting players in the show. Now, you may be players, you may be stars, but you could also act in a more support role, should you so choose. You can't
I
be the
would love
lead.
something less. I'm volunteering immediately.
You want us to be stagehands?
Maybe for the dress rehearsal, the technical night where you check to make sure everything is arranged exactly how it needs to be so the show goes off correctly. To put a fine point on your previous question, Miss Belladonna, I've been in Barovia for about, it must be 35 years now. Maybe 40, somewhere around there. I came here when I was a younger man. And I, too, sought to topple things. I realized it wasn't as simple. But I suppose I'm fortunate enough to not have experienced the cozy little bar, cute little bar that you all reference. Not quite yet, at least.
You are right that it is not that simple, but there is literally no other option.
It's rare I see
It's either the little bar, or there is... You've been in Barovia. I will tell you, you have been in Barovia longer than I have been alive as a natural born Barovian.
Don't make a gentleman feel too old, but go on.
We're all trapped here, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
The curse is different for every one of us, but we're all cursed here. Focusing on one and only one, or it is a much bigger problem, but we are willing. I am willing. Esther clearly very willing to help you with your specific problem. If you will help us be a small part in the bigger problem solving situation.
I think
we are all disparate parts, and we need to do at least a little bit to come together. The Devil Strahd is keeping us separate on purpose. It's kind of his whole thing. Trust me, I'm very aware. You might not understand the gravity of what I have lost too, or the stakes I have in it, because I am younger, and I am native born to Barovia, and I am alive. But trust me, I understand the stakes here.
Rictavio just kind of steeples his fingers and then kind of lets them rest. And he literally just puts one hand on Esther's like leg at around the knee zone. Knee, not like upper thigh, not mid thigh, knee. And but he keeps eye contact with Belladonna.
Belladonna is not laughing.
Yeah, I know. keeps eye contact with Belladonna.
Scratches.
You remind me of an apprentice I once had. Long time ago. Younger than you are now. But wholly focused. Yes, I believe that we can help each other out quite well, and are any of you familiar with the term false adversary? There's many terms for it, but essentially it's what the Baron and Baroness are. The Baron puts on a great show. Blazing Sun this, Wolf's Head that, Vallaki, all will be well, right? Strahd doesn't come in here. Strahd isn't, taking away your young sons and daughters into the night, absconding with them to make them food or servants. There hasn't been a vampire attack inside of Vallaki in a few years, and the last couple times Strahd was here, moved on without significantly known incident. I can't say if something did or did not happen. I wasn't in Vallaki at the times, but Strahd...
Yeah, Belladonna would visibly gag at that one.
Yeah.
Face mostly, but would retch.
Yeah. Strahd works his machinations in more quiet and subtle ways here than other places. And the Baron and Baroness act very strong, like they have somehow figured out something that hundreds of years of Barovians had never been able to figure out. How to negotiate with him, but it's a pretense. There are other things happening in our fair Vallaki that are much, much more unsettling. And sometimes when enough people feel like maybe life isn't quite as bad as it could be, they don't try to make it better. I believe that's what the Baron and Baroness have deduced and implemented here. And I, for one, hate it. Would like to see it gone. Better a tyrant that you can see than one that slowly lulls you to sleep. Takes another sip, thoughtlessly of his beverage, forgets what it is, and then looks at it again, confused. Puts it down.
I am inclined to agree.
Yeah.
That is exactly why I came to speak to you. I can tell that from the show you've already performed. I can tell that from what you've shared with us here. I believe in your philosophy. I am willing to support you if you will help support us in implementing it elsewhere.
I will. This is just you three. Normally there's at least a couple more.
We have a friend staying with us. Or, traveling with us, but he's staying back at the inn.
Oh, which inn are you staying at?
Scratch looks at Belladonna. Stops talking.
It doesn't matter right now. Staying at the inn I've always stayed at. And if you know the right people and you ask around for me, the right people will be able to tell you what inn I'm staying at.
All right.
My friends know where I stay. You can ask for Belladonna or for James Percy, and they will know where we stay.
James Percy. Belladonna. Octavio sits for a little bit, and you all kind of continue your conversation as he details out a little bit more about the Baron and Baroness. How long would you say that you all sit in that between 30 minutes and a couple hours?
I mean, I'd be inclined to stay for a while. Belladonna yarns.
Yeah, as long as Belladonna and Scratch are staying. Esther's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Scratch is sticking around.
All right. I had mentioned to you that there was something that happens in Vallaki specifically, which is that there is a kind of a general level of suspicion that you may draw to yourselves. Everything you did with Rictavio, perfectly fine. Obviously, he's on the down low as much as any number of people that might be on your side against Strahd, insofar as willing to do things about it. Getting into a fight in a tavern and sending two boys that are the Wachter boys running, having been embarrassed, back to wherever they went, has bumped up the suspicion to a 3. And with a 3, I need... Kimmy, would you please roll me a d20? Odds or evens. Call it out, and then I will give you a choice.
Odd.
With an odd, you have a choice. You can either if you were to set what you would prefer as the player, or perhaps what Mwezi-Mwezi, if they were daydreaming, would prefer as a person, who might come a knockin' at Blue Water Inn between the Velaki General Guard of the Baron or the Lady Wachter? Who would Mwezi-Mwezi feel like, or yourself, either one, would be the safer bet?
Should I go with safer or more thematic? Because I'm honestly thinking Lady Wachter, because that is who Mwezi-Mwezi saw.
I leave it to you as the player.
And then that's what I'm going to say as a player. Even though this feels less safe, I'm going to say Lady Wachter.
Lady Wachter can be heard approaching along with several foot soldiers. Not the Baron's guard, but men and women in disparate like clothing, hired swords. You can see this from the window as Lady Wachter approaches Nikolai and Carl in tow, now with cheap leather armor on and swords at their side. About a dozen or so different people in cobbled together arms, nothing expensive, nothing other than basics, but kitted as if for conflict. With Lady Wachter's tall, severe form at the forefront of this, going toward the inn. Mwezi-Mwezi, what do you do?
Being aware of this, Mwezi-Mwezi's going to go, okay, let's see if I can stall enough for my friends to come back. And go into like full hound form and try to sneak his way out from the side door that they'd come in earlier.
Mwezi-Mwezi, you can give me a stealth check, but I will tell you that barring a nat 20, this is going to be very challenging. Unless you have a particularly shockingly high stealth. You need a 25 to do anything here with stealth.
Okay, I will only be a nat 20. That was not a nat 20. It was a 5.
5. When you leave the side entrance, the moment the door opens, you see several more of these people closing on the inn from all sides, and one of them shouts out, because you turned into a dog, right?
Yep.
You turned into a dog, and you turned into a dog, and they shout out, Lady Wachter said no one's to be able to escape. Not nothing, not nobody. I'ma kill that dog. And and they pull open a crossbow. I'm not gonna go into initiative. It's going to be a little bit more narrative. Mwezi-Mwezi, you hear them. You're at the top of the stairs. They're not at the base of the stairs yet. They're not blocking you from running down. But and you see about in your view a line of sight about another 4 of them on this side, kind of closing in. You've got like one flight of outdoor stairs, and then you have several different directions that you can go into. They're in sort of a crescent shape, kind of approaching it, but they aren't like fully in, they aren't like fully at the base of the stairs yet. What do you do, Mwezi-Mwezi? You know that east will lead you toward the front of the building, which means a lot more
Right.
mercenaries. You could try to move through them and go north. You could try to go west, and then around the building to the south, but you don't know if there's anyone in that direction Right now, the thing you know is that there's 4 of them, and you might be able to make it through them. You are unsure.
I think you know what? I'm going to be brave. I am going to try to I'm staying in held form. I'm just going to try and run past them and try to lead them on a chase. Essentially try to have, since they're pursuing me, try to lead them around.
All right.
I'll figure out how to get back around to them.
We're going to give you the choice here. In your normal kind of movement or movement with dash. In your movement with dash, you would immediately have them chasing you. In just your normal movement with, say, something like a disengage action, so you can dodge them fighting you, you know that they won't be able to react and grab you, but they might then be in better position to harm you, and you wouldn't really be out in the lead. If you dash, you only have to worry about 2 of them, getting you before getting you with any kind of as you move through them with a reaction attack.
I mean, I'm willing to take that risk because this is not a good place to fight. This is not a good form to fight in. This is kind of, I fucked it up and I need to.
All right, I'm gonna do I'm gonna roll dice. They get what's your AC?
13.
They get a +4 to hit, so they have to hit you with a 9 or above on d20s.
Okay, good odds.
That is 1 hit, and that is 1 hit and 1 miss. Got an 8 and a 12 on the die, which means you take, because one of them has a thin blade in their hand, you take 6 hit points of damage as you run on by. You are not grappled, you are not held, whatever, and they start chasing you.
I took 6. Okay.
Yeah, 6 hit points, or 6 damage, 6 slashing damage because of the way that they whipped it across you.
All right.
These sabers that they can position for slashing or piercing. You are running. You are running in a city that you're not super familiar with and everything. Mwezi-Mwezi, I need you to make me a survival check. I think survival check is the only thing I can, unless you have a good pitch for a different skill to kind of navigate a city.
No. That is a 20, 30.
Dirty 20. You manage to move through back alleys, happen to not run into any fences or obstacles that you can't leap over successfully as you move through the streets. I'm going to ask you to roll, and I'm going to give you a choice, Mwezi-Mwezi. Because they spent the full 2 hours there, you have to keep these people off of you and succeed pretty aggressively at hiding, for moving them, drawing them away, and keeping away from them without getting hurt. I'm not going to have you do just endless rounds of this. I'm going to give you a choice. We're going to stretch out combat so that instead of every round being 6 seconds, that every round would be about 6 minutes, or roughly 10 rounds being 60.
Okay.
If you roll 10d20 and you do not get a nat 1 at this point, you will be able to succeed at escaping them, 1 for each round. Or you can roll 2d20, but your DC is 10. So you can either roll it on 1 advantage roll, 2d20, or you can roll 10d20, and as long as none of them's a 1, you're good.
I have a
I'll take the.
question. Was this a skill check or just a flat d20 roll?
This is just a flat d20 roll. It doesn't matter on skills.
Doing the math, it sounds.
The skill would pivot each round, like stealth, athletics, and everything. So I'd probably just give you whatever your highest skill would be for running away from them, which is probably athletics, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And just add that to it. So you can add athletics to it. But either way, it sort of evens it out to it's a 10 plus, it's a 10 DC or it's a bunch of ones. So you essentially.
Can someone remind me how to roll the dice in
in D&D Beyond?
Yeah.
There should be a dice in the bottom left corner.
Okay. I don't trust it, but that's okay.
What are you doing? 2 or
I'm doing the 10.
Doing the 10?
Yeah, I assumed it was the 10 based on wanting the dice roller.
No nat 1.
Not a single nat 1?
And your custom total was 100.
Which is
average,
a perfect
which
with
means
the 10 average. So you would have hit the DC with the
That was
average.
pretty cool.
That is
Pretty cool.
fortuitous and serendipitous. Mwezi-Mwezi, you dodge.
Just smile.
You have these mercenaries on a rope. Describe for me Mwezi-Mwezi's hour of manipulating in a chase scene through a town.
So I feel like one of the first things he does is get up on a roof nearby, like chase down an alley, climb up a corner, and then look at them from the back. Just really, and then like looking a little bit and then darting off is like kind of like the first thing.
Yeah.
At some point, he gets 2 groups to just run into each other, and then same thing up and over, parkouring his way like back from them. And then he does it with 4 groups. And then with that, I'm going to say some of the guards begin like getting tired, slacking off, doing stuff like that. And he hides out for a little bit, kind of like in a place that would not be easy for someone to see too much, but doesn't mean he has to run around so much. And if it could be near the Blinksies where I need to go.
Very nice. You befuddle to an almost cartoonish degree, almost like a child's movie from the 90s as they chase a dog and all of these baddies can't seem to catch this dang dog. As Mwezi-Mwezi befuddles it. They're not expecting, they eventually, but are not trained to understand that you will go vertically up onto rooftops. A wolf or a well-trained hound or a wild hound will elevate themselves onto like wagons or boxes as is needed. They're agile and can do that, but they're not thinking, oh, I could go 10 or 20 feet up if I can just hop to here, then here, and then I'm there and I'm fine. And that is where a more keen and patient rather than a purely survival-based mind overturns them. You don't have all of the people you suspect that were there at the Blue Water Inn chasing you, but you have a good portion. Upon exiting this cafe, Esther, Scratch, and Belladonna, is there anything you would want to say specifically or set up specifically with Rictavio before you part ways? He has an like a late afternoon show that he does that he states that he has to get back to, so he's going to go back to the stockyard to do it. But is there anything that any of you want to impart before you next meet again? And we don't have to decide exactly where that meeting space is. You've got days and stuff like that to before the festival, but
Esther's gonna take a piece of paper and write down just the room number, but not the name of the hotel, and fold it up and slide it to him and say, "When you figure out where we are," and she's gonna walk away.
Scratch makes sure to get the sketch of the automaton.
You do. Brief insight check or investigate check or perception. Just nerd check it, or arcana.
All right.
Any of those.
That's a 21 on investigation.
Looking at this sketch, you are immediately brought with two thoughts. This man has taken artistic liberties. What I am looking at is an impossible feat. But also, what I am looking at is an impossible feat. What if this is accurate? Scratch, you've never seen anything fold side or elsewhere that is to the degree of what has been drawn to you. You don't immediately understand everything that's going on, but the bits you do are like, this is like a masterwork of a decade. It's just in form and shape. Belladonna, anything before Rictavio goes to?
And just to clarify, before the switch over there, he acknowledged the name but didn't elaborate at all?
Yeah. Do you want to press him on that? Would Belladonna immediately press him on that?
No, that's fine. That's enough for her, but she would arrange, try to arrange a meeting before the festival.
Of course. And we'll let like that amorphously come up. You've got time before the festival when it is convenient for play. You know where Rictavio is. You know where he performs in the afternoons. And so it's easy for you all to signal or get message to him or to meet. But that leaves you all walking back to the Blue Water Inn from center south of town, conveniently walking up along a street where Mwezi-Mwezi, you begin to smell three familiar smells. One of all kinds of potions and spices and alchemical things. One of honestly, not to your knowledge, but pretty expensive perfume. And one of cigars and liquor and cat dander, tobacco and everything, and also a weird smell of some sort of wine, cider, coffee, milk thing that feels like it's a weird choice. You smell that as you don't have to like roll to find them. You will eventually see them walking while you were hidden.
No, I was rolling to do a wisdom check. So if they are like, my destination was either Blixie's or them, they're the preference. So I will go to them and without concern, just shift back to human form. Not like making sure when I'm going to say, okay, there was a fight and now all of Lady Watka and Hermine are here. So there are even more our enemies at this point. I am sorry for that. But it is good to see you, sisters.
It's great to see you too. What on earth happened?
I was there resting, I was focusing, and then I heard the ruckus down, and I'm like, I need to keep the head straight because I'm doing the meeting. And I go down there, and it's two knuckleheads fighting. But the little child at the bar, he couldn't handle that. So I grabbed them, they hit me, I took them out, and I dropped them. And unfortunately, they were Lady Vodka's boys.
I have no
On the
problem with that. Yeah.
Certainly an interesting development.
Yes. Yes.
But I find myself shockingly unconcerned. But I suppose not that shockingly unconcerned.
I believe it will be just something we can deal with, and we've done so well so far.
Yeah, it's a good thing we're here now. They
Are
show
they
their
all
faces.
Right.
chasing
Did they have
us?
you running for long? I am so sorry you were interrupted.
It was an hour. It got out a lot of stress I was feeling. It was fine.
It was a nice little run then.
Yes, yes.
Oh, well, are you hungry? Perhaps we should get you some food.
I am famished.
Yes,
And is
yes,
it, it's not
after
too
all the running.
it's not too far away from the meeting to do that, Steve?
Oh yeah, no, not at all. You can easily get
No,
food.
okay.
It is
Yeah,
roughly
we'll get food.
around like it is roughly around 2:33. The meeting's not until like past sunset, so you've got ample
Okay.
time.
Oh, we've got ample time to browse around and find some like copious but very cheap street food if we're all willing to eat copious and cheap street food.
Oh yeah.
I
Might be bugs, but you know,
my
they'll be big
sister
and very salty.
my sister Ngozi has told me so much about how good the street food is. It depends on place to place, but I believe I will.
I always find street food most delicious because it is so interesting. It is so quintessential to place it is from. And I find that enjoyable experience, even if unpleasant to taste.
Yes.
Would you
So let's
please?
go eat some bugs.
Yeah, would you please, Esther Perception, uh, uh, survival for Mwezi-Mwezi, perception or survival for Scratch, and then perception or history for Belladonna.
21.
8 perception.
4 perception. Belladonna's distracted today.
6. I got this.
Okay, Esther. More importantly, Sunfye. What kind of cuisine would Esther most like to come upon since you got the 21?
We're gonna run it back. Somebody give me a cotton candy.
Cotton
that
candy. I was
doesn't
gonna
taste
say
like a ham sandwich.
doesn't chew like a ham sandwich.
Tastes like cotton
That was
candy,
the-
chews like
I
candy.
was so hoping you'd say it. I was so excited when you. I was like, please do cotton candy. Fuck yeah.
Esther, you hear something that almost sounds. At first, you get like a flashback because it kind of sounds a little bit like a calliope, but you realize it's just kind of like a tinnier organ. The rest of you are trying to consider where to eat. Maybe Town Square's a little too close to Blue Water Inn right now to go there, and crossing that way into the town. So you might as well go west, an area that Belladonna is not as familiar with, an area that that of course the rest of you haven't been, and you meander on to a little bit of an item, and outside of a church on the western edge of Vallaki, still inside the walls, is a group of canopies, tents, and whatnot, and people sitting and enjoying lemonade and blue frosted drinks inside of like a low kind of stone fence that seems to be the sort of exterior border of the church grounds. Like there's the church building proper, and then it has a large sort of like front lawn, if you will, front piece of property that's encapsulated inside of stone, and in there people are enjoying all manner of different fair and street food, with a few signs that say books, and a couple signs that say bake sale, and indeed some cotton candy being spun in a circular machine, doled up on conical paper cones, thin, beautiful, cinnamon, delicious looking elephant ears, Scones, Dole Whip, you name it. It's that funnel cakes, ribbon, a brick of curly fries, just a brick of like a whole unit cinder block of curly fries. That's like one dense thing that's deep fried. Deep fried meat on skewers. And you see that you are looking at St. Andrew's Church here in Vallaki, a place that none of you have ever been, but that you know that Irina went to when you were first came to town.
Look, there's cotton candy. Let's go get some. Maybe this one will be better.
This is cotton candy.
It's that thing over there. You see, it's
Oh, the
spinning.
pixie cubes. Yes. Let us
Yeah,
go.
yes, exactly.
I have
As
not
soon-
that pixie cube since I was child.
As soon as Belladonna is happy, Mwezi-Mwezi just darts into the area. How lucky we are!
There is.
Scratch trails
I will
behind.
try to find anything that resembles a corn dog.
I'm not playing
In every
games.
life
This
I
isn't a
live.
fey carnival. You find 4 things that resemble corn dogs. You find the giant corn dog, the classic giant corn dog, just a massive corn dog. You find a corn dog that's got like this like hot. It's probably got peppers in it. It's probably got a little bit of like spicy cheese. You find a Korean style corn dogs that have like the like potato exterior and everything like that. Delicious.
Not the ones that are cheese, though.
What?
Or those there, but I don't get. I have a story about Korean corn dogs. I don't want to talk about it.
After stream.
I'm gonna immediately ask, and you find something that looks like a corn dog, but it looks like it's battered in red velvet cake. Maybe like a breakfast corn dog of some kind. It's got maple syrup. It's a little bit strange, but yeah, you find multiple kinds of corn dogs, all up. There is no beam of light shining through the ever overcast skies of Barovia, with their gray day hues. But man, does it look like there should be on this place as you all approach it. The church behind it, covered in different, no deities, it looks like, heroic stained glass windows, massive. It's probably 60 feet tall, more cathedral than church, certainly miles away from the church in Barovia village. Tall spires, multiple floors. And you can see on that the doors are thrown open, which is where the organ music is coming out of as somebody is inside playing a jaunty little tune on the organ. And you can see children, you can see well-kept grounds. The plant life is doing its best. It's not quite dead, but it's not quite flourishing. Almost like, fall-ish or early spring-ish post-winter chills. So somewhere in the middle, but doing really well. And as you all cross the threshold, I would like all of you to know that you are currently under the status condition of protected from evil and good. And protected from evil and good. And I would like Esther specifically to give me an Arcana or Religion check with advantage. What was that? Sunfye, I can't hear you.
24 religion.
24 religion. You're
Oh,
not
goodness.
super familiar with this, but in continuing with this, you feel like there's something a little bit more here than just consecrated ground or blessed religious objects. This place has a sense of something like extremely magically potent in the divine way. And in this church, you are all currently in what is referred to as a sanctuary, which means that no gods, no fiends, no demons, no undead, nothing can cross the threshold of this church.
Gives me
Which, go on.
the immediate question of how Belladonna feels crossing the threshold of the church with
Give
her.
me a Arcana check. Or religion, if you want to.
I think they're the same, honestly. I'm gonna do Arcana because I'm not checking on my like religious knowledge. I'm trying to tap into like just vibe check with, you know, my own self, my attunement. I did bad. That's a 6 Arcana check.
You don't know why, but you feel really good. Like with an Arcana check, I'm just going to describe the feeling that you have. The sensation that kind of like sits at the edge of your skin like a humid day being a bit more heavy. But in this case, it's like a warm blanket on a cold day, or like a pair of arms embracing you. It's calm. Surprisingly so. Peacefully so. But other than that, you have no grander insight. But the presence is there with you. Just more memory than current behaviors would have you belie. More what you remember rather than what is.
Okay.
People wave at you. Welcome! Welcome to St. Andrews! Welcome to St. Andrews! You all, I assume, go get yourself some food.
Scratch is gonna go get a corn dog as big as her.
Yeah, corn dog.
Hell yeah. Also a
Really?
spicy one.
I'm gonna get every meat. I'm gonna get meat on the skewer, meat in the wrap, meat off the skewer, meat on the bowl. These are different. And then I'm gonna take some of it and try to and move up to the wherever would be like the focal point of the church and leave some food.
Right now, it's sort of like the front dais of like a little bit of like stone patio and stairwell and everything. No one's like, people are gathered there just like anywhere else, sitting or standing and talking and chatting. As everyone chats there, you hear the organ music stop. And you can hear some people like lightly applaud. It's a little too deep into the cathedral for you to get like a good look at the player, but you're going too soon because they step up from that, and a person in white and gold trimmed vestments with black hair, clean shorn face. She smiles. Uh, she smiles uh, as she approaches toward the kind of entryway to the church that looks out on this kind of front lawn of festivities. All of the food that you received has little like donation buckets, but no prices.
I donate. Let's say
Yeah, and you hear whisperings of Mother Lucia um, uh, coming to or is coming, and how delightful Mother Lucia's playing is. So you can assume this slowly approaching figure is Mother Lucia. But out of the corner of your eye, you see some signage in this beautiful, protected from evil and good place that comments on the fact that all will be well, hosting festivities for the Festival of the Blazing Sun here at St. Andrew's Church. And with you knowing that Rictavio has something planned for that day, and you looking around at this place where you feel safe and secure and protected, and knowing that Rictavio doesn't like the Baron and the Baroness, and a little bit as to why, and being in a place like this, can I get final thoughts as all of you realize, or have the moment where you come to realize that the festivities of the Blazing Sun are going to be hosted in this same place that this beautiful, like, church event is? Belladonna, what do you got? What comes to mind, or does anything come to mind? Nothing certainly has to.
Oh, yeah, no, it definitely does. Thank fucking God I talked to that fucking cat. Yeah. Like, that came in clutch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, Belladonna is certainly flooded with a huge wave of relief, realizing that in particular, this is, even if she doesn't agree with the, like, she's not big on either church in either direction, but she is very against innocent people getting hurt. It was hard to know exactly what the scenario was going to be before. Knowing this now, yeah, it's good to know that we're already curbing collateral damage, which is coming, unfortunately.
What about Esther? Mouth and fingers sticky with cotton candy. That's what cotton
Great.
candy does. You're a mess. You're a mess after cotton candy. It's a mess.
Just a full mess. I think she's immediately trying to figure out how to concoct a new plant where the Baron can get like stopped on his way in, and like is trying to get the situation resolved before the events happen at the festival. She's scheming.
Mwezi-Mwezi?
If these are the people who are going to hold the festival, then they have already shown us a good job. I was a bit worried. This is like just in the thoughts. I was a bit worried this would be some type of weird paid punishment killing people thing.
And Scratch, looking around at this place, probably the most secure and safe place that you've been in since you've been to Barovia. Knowing at this point by being in it that there's like a lot of magic here that in this church grounds at least is, you've experienced consecrated churches before that are like this. What's going through Scratch's head?
Scratch is mostly kind of quietly flabbergasted that this church and safe place is allowed to even exist, much less so openly in Barovia. But aside from that, she's just kind of relaxing and taking in the atmosphere and enjoying the quiet moments, before, in between everything else, and letting her thoughts drift to, home and family and stuff.
Lucia speaks from behind you, or in front of you if you've turned.
Okay.
From the doorways, the double giant wooden doors that are open now in the day here in Vallaki. Oh, I see that we all have beautiful new and old family here, guests. They look around. Eat, enjoy. This is only a preview of what I've been working on for the new festival. I'm so delighted that all of you can come here in this wonderful dress rehearsal, we'll call it, for events to happen later. Enjoy the food donated by Well, members of the church, and let us all bask in Saint Andrew's light, and the light of other saints, where the gods have forsaken us, and their eyes level right on Esther. The gods have forsaken us, but it is heroes of our past, present, and future that may still yet be our salvation. Eat up and enjoy. Blessings to all of you, for you give the blessings that is all that you need to each other. And they place their 2 hands over her stomach, bows her head in a moment of silence, and you see several of the attendees do the exact same.
Scratch follows suit.
And Lucia looks up. Now go. Enjoy. I'm going to circulate amongst the flock. And she giggles. Looks back at Esther and the rest of you and starts approaching. Hello, strangers. Mother Lucia of the Church of the Saints.
It's so nice to meet you. It's beautiful here. You've done such a good job with the whole thing.
It's not my doing. This has been this place for so many years. I am but a steward of the power and strength of character and righteousness of the saints, both past and present. I would like each of you to roll a perception or history check.
12.
Dirty 20.
16 for perception.
So head shake from Belladonna.
9. I was even gonna like jump in and say something cool and like tag team it, and I'm like, now I don't feel. I rolled a 9. I don't know anything. I don't know what's happening.
Funny that the highest roll is Esther. Because for days, Esther traveled, constantly forgetting that Arena was there with you the whole time. And maybe it's at the mention of a church that you've never heard of, a church of saints, not of a deity, not even of like a messiah or a prophet, but of just saints. Maybe it's the sugar rush, but when you've looked around and when you've thought about it, you've noticed that you know that Arena said that she was going here. Where is Arena? She must be in the church, but it doesn't look like anyone else when you glance down is in the church. Arena seems nowhere to be found here at St. Andrew's Church. In fact, you haven't heard from Arena since they left. She didn't come in to say hi. Maybe she's distracted. You hadn't really thought about it till now, Esther. And I think with that, we will leave the St. Andrew, the Church of the Saints, and we will leave Vallaki to a scene that you don't see. Honestly, if I would imagine that most of the most valuable things that uh, uh, Belladonna would have, she would keep on her, correct? Most of her like most pricey or rare items. Is that correct? Or do you think she would leave them in the room?
No, she usually, if like you're referring to like her travel stuff, yeah, she keep that on her. She packs really, really light
Mhm.
generally, so she keeps pretty much all of her valuables on her at all times.
pity that they don't find anything that useful in there. As right now in the Blue Water Inn, in the downstairs at Saber Point, a young bartender that looks roughly like his father, but thinner and wispier, less battle worn, less hardy, has their hands up as two sabers are against his neck. Fiona Wachter, revealing from a large purse she keeps at her side a small reptile companion, something not quite lizard, strange in shape, that she pets and feeds small little treats of some sort she gets out of another bag. Kind of growls happily at her side, while the noise of every room being tossed in the Blue Water Inn happens above, while several mercenaries tear apart every single room in there, looking for any evidence of a woman that looks like a witch and a woman that looks like she might be a priest of some sort of Lathander, cleric of Lathander, and a powerful, super strong, like strength of 10 men man that bested both of her hardy sons in battle, and person that looks like a house cat on two legs might be staying. And maybe they only find some cat hair, handful of regular sundries, some spare clothes, nothing of super valuable because none of you all have that much else on you, and you have a magical sack that you put things in for most of your travel supplies. So no need for that to go. But with that, we end in Barovia. One safe space being tossed, another safe space being entered, a mystery of a missing former NPC companion, a delightful thing, allies made, enemies possibly increased, and a suspicion level of 3. And a Rictavio that is confident he's going to hit it sometime in the next couple days when it comes to Esther. But until then, until those days come on, that'll be the end of this session of Dying of Exsanguination, The Curse of Strahd. Thank you so much for Mwezi-Mwezi not getting kidnapped by a bunch of mercenaries and taken to a very bad place, and the rest of you meeting up with Rictavio. Rictavio, and finding a potential ally and a potential plan to shake shit up in Vallaki. But until then, round robin. Chimerror, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at chimerror.blackside.app. And if you really want, maybe YouTube. But don't bank on it.
Triple A Ron, where can people find you?
You can find me occasionally posting things on YouTube at AAA Ron.
Sunfye.
You can find me posting things on TikTok at Sunfire D&D.
And if they wanted to, where would people find you, Betty Buzzsaw?
At your local non-chain second-hand shop, alphabetizing the shoes.
My brain just said SH and then SH because they're all shoes. That's the first. That's how I'd alphabetize shoes. They're
I'll
all
make
shoes.
a little plaque for my shoey decimal system.
And with that, you can of course
Shout out
find
to my friend Emily who made that joke.
we love giving credit where credit is due, but you can of course find Dying of Exposure here and on various places on the internet, including YouTube, TikTok, and such. And we will be back. I'll be back here Thursday with my other campaign. And we will be back hopefully next week for some more discovery about various mysteries of Vallaki on our first day and finding out what potential dangers and allies can be found in this oh so very important place in Barovia. Until then, see you next time. Bye, everyone.